BBL scores, the big boys lead. Lots to get into today. This is going to be Piston focused. Pistons win their first playoff game since 2008. Got a tequila to celebrate. Just got a little Kona action. Cheers. Shout out Motorcade. Tobias, all the boys. All right, sir. Good evening. How you doing?
I'm doing great, man. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic, especially after the game last night. What? Show the listeners what you're drinking on tonight.
Got a little Kona big wave action.
Nice. Cade's covering it, but nice.
Yeah.
I got made myself a little mixy. Thought it was a special occasion. I've got Costco tequila with Fresca. If you've not had tequila and Fresca before, it's a top tier drink.
And if you need a morning beverage, you add Liquid IV.
Exactly. Bring you back from a rough night. But no, I'm excited. Just so you guys know, we're sorry. I know it's been a super long time since we've done an episode. Just Jet and I tonight. Stark couldn't make it. Things have just been hectic, but we really do want to get back to doing more consistent episodes. I think Stark and I, Joey might be there. We will see. Going to do a live stream Thursday. Stark is going to have the Stark big board, and we're going to be going through the NFL draft. We're going to be talking about a lot of Lions, and we've also got Game 3, Pistons Knicks. So action-packed night Thursday. We plan to be live, so make sure you guys check out the channel. We'll be going live on YouTube for that. All right, we're going to be talking just Pistons tonight. We're going to maybe dabble in the draft a little bit if we get some time, but this is going to be Piston-focused. If you're listening, you didn't watch last night for whatever reason, the Pistons win their first playoff game since 2008. Chauncey Billups was their point guard. Tayshaun, Sheed, the whole crew. That's crazy. That is insane to think about, that is the last time the Pistons won a playoff game. But they get it done, Madison Square Garden, against the Knicks. An infuriating game. And Jalen Brunson has me wanting to throw a remote through my TV screen. But, Jet, I'm going to just throw this to you, kind of kick us off. Kind of what was your takeaway from the game last night, and what's your confidence level that the Pistons can win this series?
Sky high. I mean, we damn near should have won the first game. Not damn near. We should have won the first game. 9-point lead heading into the fourth, 22-0 run or something like that the Knicks go on. Cade actually lost his mind for a second. I think he turned the ball over, I don't know, 2 or 3 straight possessions. It was so bad. But outside of a huge breakdown, we've actually dominated the Knicks. And that's without Isaiah Stewart in game 2, which I think B-Ball Paul was our biggest liability. Shout out him, but I mean, he definitely was our biggest liability on the floor. Which Karl Anthony Towns didn't do shit in the second half. 0
He didn't
points.
attempt a shot in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
He didn't attempt a shot.
I don't know if that's a testament to our defense or if Tibbs is just dumb because, he was getting whatever he wanted in the first half. But, yeah, I think we win this game, and I think we win this series in 6.
I like that. And we don't have this on record, but I like your prediction of 6 because that was my pre-series prediction was Pistons in 6. And I agree with you. And it's tough. I walked away kind of focusing on game 1, and then we'll get to game 2. I walked away from game 1 feeling oddly optimistic because the Pistons dominated that game and should have won. But it was the way that they dominated. Cade played one of the worst games I've seen Cade play this year. I
Yeah.
mean, Asar Thompson looks like a deer in headlights. He did in game 2 as well. I mean, Asar Thompson, I don't even know what the heck's going on with him. Jalen Duren had a terrible game 1. And we literally built a 15-point lead in the fourth quarter off of Tobias Harris and Malik Beasley. Our vets, and that's what. And shout out to the Alaskan Assassin. I remember about a year ago we were talking about that hire, and he brought in some vets. Specifically those guys for moments like this, and they carried the Pistons through game 1. And I walked away from game 1 feeling optimistic because I knew Cade was going to bounce back. I knew Duren was going to bounce back. Asar, I don't know. We need him lock in a little more on defense. It's tough when you're guarding Brunson. And the head bobs and the flailing and the flopping, it's really tough. But after last night, I am with you. And I'm even at the point, I still say 6. But, man, they win Thursday night. I'm feeling really, really good about the Pistons' chances of taking this series home. And I think the biggest piece to me is I think J.B. Bickerstaff has outcoached Tibbs in the series so far. I mean, what an adjustment Bickerstaff made from game 1 to game 2. And we'll get into that in a second. But the biggest thing to me, we have the best player in the series. Cade's the best player on the court in this series every time he steps on the court. And so if you've got the best player, and maybe that's a controversial take, I'm curious to get your opinion on this. I think Brunson's the only one that has an argument, but I am all the way out on Jalen Brunson. I think we have the best player on the court anytime Cade Cunningham is on that court. And I think that goes a long way. And I just think coming back to Detroit, role players are going to step up. Historically, role players play much better at home than they do on the road. And I think that's going to swing the series in favor of the Pistons. But curious, you agree with me? Is Cade Cunningham the best player in this series?
Yeah. You're actually stealing a little bit of my thunder. I came with my own segment for you. Remember when we did, where's Jared Goff in the NFL?
Yes.
It's so much harder to do in the NBA because you're really positionless at this point. You don't say, point guard, shooting guard, just who's the best in the NBA? Is Cade a top 5 player in the NBA? Is he a top 10 player in the NBA? Is he top 25? I'll stop there because I would never assume going out of the top 25, but where do you think he's at?
Dude, that's a really good question. And I would be, you know what? We should do this exercise. And maybe not now, but we should do this exercise like we did with Goff, where we listed just head to head. Who would you rather take?
Yeah, so I actually have a list of players for you.
All right, let's run it. Let's run it.
So this is going to be for the playoffs. I'm not talking career future, because future, I'm pretty much taking him over everyone but probably Victor Wembanyama, and maybe Anthony Edwards, because they're young players that are still really good. But I'm talking just for this playoff series.
2025 playoffs, who would I rather have on my team? Cade Cunningham or? All right.
Cade Cunningham or, I'm going to start low like you did. Cade Cunningham or Anthony Davis.
Cade Cunningham.
Cade Cunningham or Joel Embiid.
Oof. See, I'm gonna go Cade.
I like that too. I had Cade. All right, Cade Cunningham or Steph Curry.
I'm gonna take Steph.
Yeah, I think you gotta take Steph. Once again, young careers, it would be so cool for Steph to play for the Pistons, everything he's done. But young careers, I'm taking Cade full time. But for this series, you can't turn away those points.
Yeah, if you're asking me, would I build a franchise right now around Steph, who's going to be out of the league in a couple years, or Cade? It's easy Cade, but in a playoff series, I'd rather have Steph on my team.
Yeah, Devin Booker.
Cade,
yeah. Kevin Durant.
Cade,
yeah. I agree.
This isn't the Olympics. If it was the Olympics, different story.
Yeah.
Greatest Olympian of all time, basketball-wise.
LeBron James.
Oof. You know, that is tough. Because I was actually going to say this. I'm not comparing Cade to LeBron. I mean, Cade would have to do a lot in his career to get to that point. But LeBron right now in his career and what he brings and does and his numbers and what he provides for the Lakers, he's very comparable to what Cade brings to this Pistons team. I'm going to go Cade.
Yeah, give me Cade. Now I'm going to get into some tougher ones, and I'll just err on the side. All these guys I have over Cade.
Okay.
Anthony Edwards.
Anthony Edwards, yeah.
Luka Doncic.
Okay. I'm going to go Luka here, but there is an argument on this Pistons team. Defense is very important. Very important. Luka doesn't play it, but I'm still going to go Luka.
I like that. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander.
SGA. MVP.
Nikola Jokic.
Jokic.
Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Giannis.
And then Jason Tatum.
Ooh, that I like that comp, but I'm going to have to go Tatum just because he's won a chip.
Yeah. I think the Celtics are so good, too. Like, he's not reliant to be, like, an all-star. Like, I do think if you put him on, like, a bad team, he would take over and they'd immediately be a playoff contender.
Yeah.
There's also one person that I forgot to say that I think is going to be an interesting one for you. Donovan Mitchell.
Ooh. I'm going to go Cade.
Yeah.
I'm going to go
I like
Cade.
that,
And
too.
it's kind of same type of deal as kind of what I was saying with Luka, but I'm going to go Cade here. Cade just provides so much to this Pistons team. Like, defense is important. And is that all your players?
Yeah, that's all of them.
Okay. So Cade's up there.
Yeah, Cade's a top 10 player in the NBA.
Yeah, Cade is up there, and I love that. And that's a great segue. Kind of ended on Donovan Mitchell because yeah, I think the Cade's size and like he just plays like physical and like I mean he's unstoppable when he attacks the rack. He's unstoppable. And but his defense, like when he's got to lock up on defense, like he puts the effort in on defense, and I think that is kind of what we're looking at in this series. And I wanted to talk about this with you. The Pistons are such a likable team, in my opinion, and obviously I'm biased, but I think the Pistons are such a likable team because look at the NBA ratings; they're way down, and people hate the NBA. And there's not that fire and that passion that we were used to growing up watching the league. And I think this series, this Pistons-Knicks series, is so interesting to me because you have the Knicks, and they are the epitome of 2025 NBA. These soft players that are getting in refs' faces and they're foul baiting, and I mean we could go on and on about the Brunson thing. And Josh Hart, how the dude was in the refs' faces 3 times last night. Like I'm like, how is this guy not getting teed up? But they're just the epitome of today's NBA, which is our offense is going to be revolved around trying to draw fouls and flopping and getting to the free throw line, and we're not going to show the effort on defense. And then you've got on the other side the Pistons, who they're not as talented as the Knicks, but they play hard and they play defense, and they very rarely are you going to see the Pistons flopping and pump faking and jumping 4 feet into a defender and flailing and trying to get free throws. Like, they just go out there and hoop. And so you just have these, it's like this battle of what is going to be the new age of the NBA. And the Pistons are one of the few teams I've seen this year that truly just go out there and play basketball. And they're one of the most likable teams in the league, in my opinion. And on the other side, you have the Knicks, who are the epitome of 2025 NBA. And I have this growing hatred for the Knicks. I've watched a lot of Knicks basketball, and it's frustrating. But, boy, you get in a playoff series, and they're playing your team. I wanted to throw my remote through the TV so many times last night. It is the most frustrating brand. It's not basketball. It's not basketball. So I think it's interesting. I'd be curious, do you agree with that? We've got these two different styles, and we're going to see who wins.
So first of all, I will say that's $1 million take right there. Like you should be a writer for First Take, because if you branded this as like a generational thing where this is old school versus new school, which they might even do. I don't watch I haven't watched a morning sports talk show in forever. It's just BBL. They might already be saying that, but I think that that's a great hot take. Now, do I agree with it? No, not even close. I don't want to insult you, but I don't know how much Knicks basketball you've watched. I think that they are truly I think that they're a hard-nosed defense team. I love McCall Bridges. I love OG Anunoby. I think both of them are like lockdown defenders. I think Cat can be a good defender. I think Brunson plays like a fucking pit bull. I don't think that he's a good defender, but I think he does try on defense. And then both McCall Bridges and OG Anunoby, I think, are awesome on offense. I think that Brunson is fucking like Harden on the Rockets, where when he wants to get a bucket, he can, but he resorts to head fakes so many times it pisses me off. It makes me so upset that he foul baits, because he truly is a good offensive player, and so was Harden. But I think when they want to get a bucket, they're just like, oh, I'll just fake like I'm getting hacked when I go to the rim. I actually think the refs did a really good job of officiating in game 2. He wasn't getting the head fake calls as much. But me personally, outside of your take for the story, I think that this is two good teams. And here's a reverse hot take. I think that people whose NBA teams are bad think that the NBA sucks. And I don't blame them. Because when your NBA team is bad, it's so hard to watch. Watching the NFL and the Lions suck, I'm like, oh, this sucks, but I still love the NFL.
Yeah.
You watch the Pistons when we win 5 games, you're a psycho if you watched every single game. I'm sorry. Maybe I'm not the world's best fan, but it's hard to watch. Now that the Pistons are good this year, I've enjoyed watching the NBA so much more. And I think that there are a lot of people that are like, oh, NBA's down. Sure, their ratings are down, but I also think that that's because it's not all calculated based off of direct TV viewership. I watch NBA. I have the League Pass, so I watch on my phone all the time. I don't even know if they count that into ratings, but I think that the NBA is probably doing just fine. They have their core fans that they know are always going to watch. But I do like, from a take perspective, your take is great.
Let me walk back a couple things here, because I do agree with you. McCall Bridges and OG Anunoby. And I don't know why I can't pronounce that name right. Very good on-ball defenders. And I agree. The effort level, especially in the playoffs, the effort level is there. The Knicks, I have watched a good bit of Knicks, and I guess when I'm saying epitome of 2025 NBA basketball, I'm talking the flopping, the flailing, the trying to bend the rules, and how do I get to the free throw line?
For sure.
Whining, just the things that I personally hate about the game. And I think if you go to effort level, dude, those Tuesday night games in January, because I have League Pass as well. And I love basketball. I'm a basketball nut. I love basketball, and I love watching basketball. And I just find myself Tuesday night NBA game in January, it's an unwatchable product, because the game has just moved to offense is strictly just ISO. We're not running sets. We're not running. There's not ball movement. There's it's ISO and pick and roll. That's all we're running on offense. And then we're trying to get to the free throw line. We're flailing. We're flopping. We're arguing with the refs. There's nobody in the league. I think this is the bigger overarching issue with the NBA today. Where's the Kobe mindset? Does that exist anymore? Is there any type of hatred between two teams and rivalries anymore? I don't see that anymore. And maybe we're building one here in Detroit, and with Detroit and the Knicks. And Pacers Bucks has been a little chippy, and that's been fun to watch. But I guess what I'm getting at is the Pistons play as a team. And they show effort on those Tuesday night games in January, and they play hard. And they might not be the most talented team, in the league, but they play with chemistry, and it's that old school brand of basketball where I would say the Knicks are a 2025 brand of basketball. The Celtics, though, I'm going to throw this out there. The Celtics are great. They're probably the best team in the NBA. They are harder to watch, in my opinion, than the Knicks. And that's who's waiting round 2 if we beat the Knicks, by the way. So we can have that conversation when it comes to the Celtics, because the Celtics are harder watch, in my opinion, than the Knicks. Maybe that's a hot take.
Yeah, I mean, the Celtics literally just shoot. I think they shoot the most threes in the NBA
They
out
do.
of any team. And their ball movement is really good just because I think everyone on the floor could be an all-star in their starting lineup. They're so good. But it is like a very boring brand of basketball to watch. I do not like it, and I really, really hope we can beat the Knicks, because if we beat the Celtics, that would be like the sweetest thing ever.
That would be this analogy that I'm laying out going into that series. If we could get there, that would be that analogy. A little old school basketball versus new age basketball, and what's going to win.
100%. Yeah.
And I love you mentioning the refs last night, because I want to give a shout out to the refs. I mean, Asar, 6 fouls and 3 of them weren't fouls. They were Brunson head bobbing. But given what a normal NBA officiating crew is calling and blowing whistles on, I do shout out to the officiating crew last night. Like, they let them play.
The first game, we had B-ball Paul playing because Stewart and Duran had 4 fouls so quick. It was bad. But the only foul that I got really pissed about was Brunson's pump fake jump into 3. That move it's got to go.
He did it twice. And it's not a thank you. It's not that's not a basketball shot. That's not a basketball play.
They made
There's
it
no
so that
place
it
in the
had to
game.
be your actual shot. Dude, he was granny styling that ball.
And then this was so funny to me about Brunson. He does that, and the first one, he draws the foul on Asar, and it's Asar's 6th foul, and he's holding up the 6. Like, he did that on purpose to get Asar fouled out. Then the second one, he does on Tobias Harris, and he's like throwing up the 3 at the crowd and like flexing. Like, dude, you're celebrating drawing a foul. What are we doing? And that is my point exactly, of like, that's 2025 NBA. You're celebrating with the crowd on a foul call that you got that you shouldn't have gotten.
Yeah.
And by the way, you reminded me, because you brought up this Harden thing. I have a who's who.
Oh, I didn't bring one. I'm sorry. I can try and think of one on the spot, but
That's fine. If you can think of one, you can say it. You don't have to, though. But is Jalen Brunson the Hitler of Houston Rockets James Harden's?
wow. That's a good one.
Because that performance last night was way worse than I ever saw out of James Harden in a single game.
Yeah. I'm telling you, James was bad with it. But seeing Jalen Brunson do it pisses me off.
Oh, I remember. And here's what
I
sucks
also
about it.
think
Because
James invented it. So I also, it was one of those things. Jalen's so late to the game. Dude, this is... Get over yourself.
I know. And what sucks about it, you brought this up, Jalen Brunson's a super talented player. Like,
yeah,
he's not the most athletic guy in the world, but he's quick. He's got great handles. He can finish. He can shoot. He's got, like, his bag is deep. He doesn't need to be doing this foul baiting. Like, it's just frustrating. I want to watch Jalen Brunson play basketball. Just play basketball. That's all I'm asking.
Yeah.
Let's just play basketball, and the better team wins. We don't have to do all that. So, all right. I'll move. My vent session is over on Brunson and the Knicks. I
have one more thing. Just one more real quick. Beginning of preseason, we signed Tobias Harris. And I said, this is going to be so huge for us. I did not like Tobias Harris before, right before he left the Pistons. I was like, this is an awesome signing for the value we're getting. And then the season happened. And I hate when I go back on takes, but I went back on my take and I said, that was the dumbest signing we could have done. and I hate Tobias Harris. And he did not have a good regular season. He was okay at times. But then in the playoffs, he has been our rock. I mean, he's been a true veteran. The only other player that I'm more proud of right now is Dennis Schroeder, which we didn't talk enough
Dog.
Pistons basketball during the season. He had, as soon as we signed him, we started playing really good. But he's so awesome for us. He has been lights out. We couldn't hit the broadside of a barn for like 3-4 minutes in the fourth quarter yesterday, and then he laced that three after they tied it up, and I was like, he was an absolute dog for us. So shout out Dennis Schroeder,
No, shout out Dennis Schroeder.
top
Shout
25
out
player in the NBA.
shout out B-ball Paul. I was gonna say we had Basketball Jones out there playing center for half the game, half the game yesterday. Shout out B-ball Paul. Hopefully we get Beef Stew back. And no, I just think credit to JB Bickerstaff. Heck of a job coaching. That was one of the things I wanted to touch on was just like it was very evident in game one what the Knicks were game plan was against Cade. We're just going to bull rush Cade and we're double teaming him. The ball's got to be out of Cade's hands. And the Pistons weren't ready for it. I mean, how many times late in the shot clock is Cade double teamed and he's got to get the ball out of his hands quick, and it ends up like top of the key at the 3-point line and it's Duren with 5 on the shot clock. That is a nightmare scenario. And JB Bickerstaff put a hell of a game plan together for game 2. Got Cade freed up a lot more. I also like they picked the tempo up so Cade could get in transition because Cade is like I'm not saying Cade's LeBron, but he's LeBron like where when he gets going downhill in transition, I don't care who you are, you're not stopping Cade in transition. So pick the pace up a little bit. So shout out to Bickerstaff, and then shout out to the Alaskan Assassin because these moves that he's made, they weren't splash moves. We were kind of in the offseason wondering why didn't we go out and get bigger names, and I'll take that on the chin. I was one of those people saying that. But Malik Beasley, Tim Hardaway really hadn't done much in the series, but I think he'll bounce back. He'll play better. Tobias, and then Dennis Schroeder, which we got at the trade deadline, have been massive additions to this team and exactly the type of veteran players that we need with this really young core that we have.
Yeah, no, for sure. The only thing that I think I am personally missing right now is and we've had it for so long, we've had these like vet first round picks at center and we don't have them anymore. Like I would love Marvin Bagley to be on this team right now.
Jahlil Okafor.
Yeah, Jahlil Okafor. Give me Nerlens Noel even. Give me somebody else that's like big. I don't want to have to play B-ball Paul for 20 minutes if Beef Stew's out. That's tough.
I know. And yeah, I hear you there. And what's funny is every name we just named have been Pistons at some point in their career.
Yeah.
That's insane. All right. Let's talk game 3. And let's preview game 3 a little bit. Real quick, how pumped are you going to be when you hear this for the first time on Thursday?
Detroit basketball!
Dude, before we get into the game, Jet and I, we're getting up there in age, okay? But when we were kids, like, I don't know, like, you youngins don't get it. Like, the Pistons were the biggest thing in my life for a very long time when I was a kid. And those Chauncey teams, Ben Wallace, Rip, Tayshaun, won the chip in 2004, beat the Lakers. Like, just to have the atmosphere of meaningful playoff basketball back in Detroit is just like, I feel like a kid again. Like, I'm so pumped and I love this and I cannot wait. LCA is going to be insane. And I can't wait to see the atmosphere on Thursday. That's before we even get into the game. Just that atmosphere is going to be amazing.
Yeah, I really hope you're right. I hope we're rocking. I hope it's like the Lions where, because like regular season NBA games, you really can't tell, at least as a Pistons fan. Like LCA is not selling out. And even when they say they sell out, it's a lie. I swear to you, I've been to like 20 games in the past 3 years, which isn't a whole lot, but just when I was living downtown, I was going to a lot of games. They would say sellout crowd, and there would be nobody in there. And granted, LCA has like a bunch of bars and restaurants in it, so people are probably sitting in there. But the amount of attendance that they have, I don't think I've ever seen the place rocking. Like, so
Me either. And
yeah,
because there hasn't been a whole lot to root for
no,
since LCA opened.
no, there really hasn't. And one thing you said, like you were a huge Pistons fan as a kid. In '04, I had a Pistons trash can. I had, the starting five on picture on my wall. I wasn't actually that big of a fan. I was a nerd as a kid. I didn't really like sports that much. So, like, me rooting for the Pistons, I think I started really liking the NBA in, like, sixth grade. And we sucked. And we've sucked ever since I've been a Pistons fan. Like, biggest deal of my life was getting Blake Griffin, and I'm like, he's coming to save the city. And first year we get him, he carries us on his back to an 8 seed, and we get swept by LeBron and Kyrie. And so, truthfully, I don't really have many good memories as a Pistons fan. Like, '04, I think we beat the Lakers, right?
Yeah, 03, 04. Yeah, the Kobe Shaq Lakers.
Yeah.
In 5.
I don't even really remember that. Like, I had the gear just because my dad bought it for me, but I really wasn't that big of a Pistons fan. Granted, I was in kindergarten, but, I mean, I was not. So this is, like, the most excited I've ever been about the Pistons in my lifetime.
That's hilarious because, like, we could not have more opposite stories. What's funny is you say you were a nerd. I was the weird one, though. Like, all of my friends were watching SpongeBob and, like, Cartoon Network. And, like, if I had control of the TV remote when I was a kid, I was throwing SportsCenter on. Like, it was ESPN. Yeah. And I knew every player on the Pistons roster. I watched every game of that 03-04 NBA Finals, the Kobe Shaq Lakers. Everyone said there was no shot the Pistons could win. They won in 5. Embarrassing story. I'm going to tell this on the pod right now. It would have been 07, so I would have been 11 years old. Embarrassing as I say this out loud. D-Wade and the Heat upset the Pistons in the Eastern Conference Finals. Game 6. I believe they won it in 6. And they went on and won. They ended up winning the NBA Finals. They beat the Dallas Mavs. And when the Pistons lost in the Eastern Conference Finals, I was like at a party of like a watch party for that game, and I had to go into the other room and shut the door, and I just started bawling. Just started crying because I was so heartbroken about the Pistons not making the finals. So anyway, I am absolutely pumped. I think LCA is going to be rocking. Like, I think. Before we get into the game, this is actually one thing that I wanted to say. Is, I think Detroit is such an underrated sports town. And I think when people talk about the greatest sports cities in the country, they focus on, other areas that are great, but Detroit doesn't get mentioned enough. And I just think the fan bases, the passion for the teams, like, whether it's the Lions, the Tigers, the Wings, the Pistons, like, the fans are going to show up. You're in the playoffs. It's a meaningful game. Like, fans are going to be there. They're going to be loud. You're going to have that home court advantage, home field advantage. And I just want to say, can we take a moment to appreciate just how lucky we are right now at this point in time? Like, the Wings have a ways to go. Okay, the Wings have a ways to go, but we've got some young talent, and there's optimism on the Wings. But we'll put them to the side. The Tigers. In what they're doing. We're sitting in first place right now, that run that they went on last year. And they're doing it the right way. Likable manager, likable players. Like, they're a fun, likable team. The Lions, I don't even have to go into it. The Lions are the most likable team in the NFL. And then the Pistons.
Unless they trade J-Mo.
Unless they trade J-Mo, which we'll talk about Thursday. It's not happening. I will tell you right now, I can tell you with certainty, it is not happening. The Lions are not trading J-Mo.
I hate to spoil the news to the listeners, but that's actually where Spencer Stark is right now. He's in the war room fighting for J-Mo to stay.
He is at the Lions facility with a sign. That's why he's not recording.
No, he's in there with a briefcase, jacket, yelling.
He's trying to crowdfund the money to keep J-Mo in Detroit. But the Lions go without saying. Everyone, Dan Campbell and the attitude they built, the culture they've built, like, just such a likable team, and we're in a Super Bowl window. And now the Pistons. super likable team, likable coach, great guys, great players. Like we're very lucky in Detroit right now, and that I'm not taking that for granted.
Yeah, I mean, think about how bad it was when we were growing up at a time period. Like, I don't know, '08 to 2012 was, I mean, Tigers was okay. I don't really remember what the Wings were doing during that time period because I've never been a big hockey fan. Tigers
Making
were
the
actually pretty
playoffs.
good, but devastating, like, losses in the playoffs. But the Pistons, atrocious. The Lions, historically bad.
You want a stat?
Yeah.
Okay. 2010 to 2020. Out of all of the cities that have all four major sport teams, like pro sport teams, the worst winning percentage in any decade ever out of cities with all four major sports, Detroit 2010 to 2020.
Yeah.
The worst decade ever. Now look at us, Jet.
Yeah. I mean, just think about the last year. The last year, I'm going to make a point to go to a Pistons game. I sadly cannot go to the next two games, but if it comes back home again, I will go to a game, or I will go to a Celtics game. If it doesn't come back home, because if it doesn't come back home, that'd be really sick. That means we won in 5. I will go to a Celtics game at home, and then in the last 12 months, I will have been to a Tigers playoff game, a Lions playoff game, and a fucking Pistons playoff game. That is insane. That I never thought I would ever do in my life.
It's crazy. I mean, it's crazy. And again, if you guys are listening, like, just take a moment, appreciate it. Like, I think we should appreciate that, and that's awesome, Jet. I forgot you went to that Tigers game.
Yeah.
I forgot you went to that, and then again, here we are again. It's like it's not like we've got these teams that are one and done or set up in the short term. I mean, the Lions are going to be one of the favorites coming out of the NFC again. The Tigers are currently sitting in first place and playing great, and we're going to get into more. We'll talk more Tigers this summer on the pod. And the Pistons are, by the way, the Pistons are doing this without their second best player. Like, that's something that no one's talking about. The Pistons are doing this without their number 2.
And I don't want to get into that because I don't want to kill the vibes, but I think addition by subtraction with losing him.
Interesting. Okay, you're right. We're not going to get into that. I have a comp. I've said this before on the pod, I believe. Cade and Ivy remind me very much of early Tatum Brown.
God. I think Ivy needs to get a lot better at shooting to be able to complement Cade because he's just a slashing point guard right now. And if he had a good, even just set shot, he'd be a threat to beat you off the dribble, and then he could also pull up. But I don't think he can create his own shot right now, and I don't think he's got a good enough set shot to be a threat for Cade to be kicking out to him all the time. And I think Dennis Schroeder has been so much better at playing the number 2 point guard for us that I wish Ivy a speedy recovery, and I really hope that he finds a position for himself on our team. But I think he's going to be off our team in the near future.
Hot take from
Yeah.
Jet.
I think that he will be gone very, very soon.
Maybe a little off-season trade and a package for Devin Booker?
I don't know if teams will want him.
That's crazy. Okay, that's crazy. I got to stop you there.
He's coming off of a leg injury, a severe leg injury.
Dude,
Like, nobody's going to take a
He's been cleared for practice. He's already recovered. He's been working out. I mean, he's obviously not going to play in the playoffs, but
no, they're talking he could be back for second round. I don't want that. If we make it to the second round, knock on wood.
Yeah, hold on a second.
I don't want to. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. I don't want him coming into this lineup right now.
No, I agree there. It's the same thing as when we were talking Hutch playing in the Super Bowl. Dude, No. Like, if we were to somehow make it, if the Lions somehow made it to the Super Bowl, like, don't do that. Don't throw them out there. Like, let's just roll with what we've got. I think it's the same argument with Ivy. But I will say this about Ivy. He was my favorite player coming out of that draft. Like, I loved Jaden Ivey coming out of that draft. And I think I agree with you. NBA is about shooting. You've got to shoot at a high clip. Jaden Ivey doesn't shoot at a high enough clip. But he's been improving. His shot's getting better. He is such a freak athlete, though. His ceiling is so high, and he's got room to get so much better. I'm a huge J.I. fan.
Dude, watching him at Purdue, I was literally saying, he's the number one pick, like, best player. And then draft comes, and I'm like, the stupid fucking Kings are going to steal Jaden Ivey from me. And what do? They go take Keegan Murray. And I'm like, oh my God, they're so dumb. We just got the greatest player in the draft at number 5 or whatever we had. And I've been nothing but disappointed. I really hope that he can find a role. I don't know if he has a role on our team, sadly. And funny enough, like, Keegan Murray would be so good on our team. Just an amazing shooter.
Hey, I'm gonna make, well, maybe you don't value my opinion, but we're gonna clip this last 5 minutes of the pod, and in a year from now, you're gonna be like, wow, I was wrong.
Dude, I would be so happy to be. This would be like one of the happiest wrong takes, because very, very few takes I'm wrong on. But if Ivy turns out to be some stud for us, that would make me so happy. And I wouldn't care. People would be like, you were the Ivy hater. I'd be like, yep, I was. I'm so happy he's amazing now.
There's a recipe, though, right? I think that there's a recipe, and I trust our office of, Alaskan Assassin and Bickerstaff and those guys to put the right pieces around it. Ivy fits if you've got shooters on the court, right? You got shooters around him. Like, he's not going to be that shooting threat, but you need Malik Beasley out there. You need Tim Hardaway Jr. out there. And to have that shooting threat, and then that opens the floor up, it spaces the floor out, because Ivy is just a freak athlete. And I agree with you. Much more of a slasher than a shooter. But I do think there's a way to make it work. You just gotta have shooters on the floor. But all right, let's talk Game 3. Let's get into Game 3, and I'm gonna throw this question at you. Who is your X factor for the Pistons in Game 3? Who has got to step up? And obviously we're not talking Cade. Who has got to be second leading scorer for the Pistons? Who's got to take some of that pressure off of Cade for the Pistons to win Game 3?
It's so easy. Fun fact, the place I work, we have a New York office. So, like, all the guys are, Knicks fans. Got a ton of guff from Game 1. And then today I was just letting everyone have it. And this guy slacked me and was asking me what I thought about Game 3. And I said, it's going to be known as the Tim Hardaway Jr. game. He's going for 8+ threes. He's going to light at an insanely high clip.
Okay,
yeah.
We're on the same page because that's mine. So, but keep going. That's who I was going to say. So keep going.
I just think that he's played very bad this series, and he's one of those guys that you just can't hold him down for too long. He's going to continue shooting, and when one falls, it starts raining, and I think that that's going to happen at home. First playoff game at LCA in, I don't know, 7 years or whatever.
The Michigan Wolverine as well.
Yeah, no,
he's gonna home state.
He's gonna eat for sure.
So no, that's funny. I don't even need to dive into this because that's mine as well. I mean, series is 1-1. The Pistons did their job. If you would have told me at the beginning of the series that they're coming back to Detroit 1-1, I'd have been ecstatic. And I'm kind of devastated because they should have won Game 1 as well. But they're coming back 1-1. He has not played well. They have won. They had a chance to win both games, but they won one of those games without really any production from Tim Hardaway. And he's one of those players, like, he's one of those streaky guys. Like, he's hot or he's not. And I'm with you. I feel like he's ready to explode and have a big game. And I wouldn't be shocked. I really wouldn't be shocked if he went for, like, if he was like 6 of 8 from the 3-point line on Thursday.
I think that he is going to go 8 for 14 from the line. If you can find an exact bet, I'd bet exactly 8 for 14. If any BBL fans out there want to give me that line, book it themselves, let me know. Gladly take the action.
I'll connect you with John. That fast action.
Yes. Yeah.
He would take that action.
I will bet 10 Solana on that.
Hell yes. Pudgy Penguins. By the way, just a quick little plug here. We're going to get John back on the pod in a couple weeks, talk some MLB baseball, and see what, just, coming from the book side, like, where's the money at? What's going on in the MLB? But quick little plug, that's coming in a couple weeks. But I can get you connected with John if you want to get that bet placed on Tim Hardaway.
Yeah, might need to definitely do that.
Yeah, that's funny. But no, I just think, coming back home, look at the numbers. Role players they play better at home. They play worse on the road. And I just think you look at, Tim Hardaway, I think he'll play much better. I think Asar is a guy that I didn't make him my X factor because he's just not a scoring threat. He's not going to put a lot of points up for us. But, Asar definitely needs to play better. I trust he will. He's got 2 playoff games under his belt. He's kind of figuring it out a little bit. I think he's learned his lesson with Brunson, and he's going to find some ways to defend him. And so I think you see a better version of Asar Thompson. I think you see a better version of Tim Hardaway. And then, Malik Beasley and Tobias have just been steady for us the last couple games. I expect that to continue. And Cade's Cade. Cade's going to do what he does. I expect another 30-point performance out of Cade on Thursday.
For sure. All right. Do you have anything else?
Well, I want to end with a immaculate.
Yes. Before we do that, real quick thing. I just want, you don't have to do in how many, or you can do in how many. Well, it'll be a good clip. I want your series predictions. I'm going to go through them all.
Right,
Thunder Grizzlies.
Thunder in 4.
I agree. Nuggets Clippers.
Clips in 7.
Wow. I hate to say this, but I'm going to say the exact same.
I love it.
Lakers Timberwolves.
Lakers in 6.
Timberwolves in 5. Yeah, that one's a hot take.
Okay.
Rockets Warriors.
Warriors in 5.
Wow. I'm gonna say Warriors in 7.
Okay.
Cavs Heat.
Cavs in 5.
I'm gonna say Cavs in 5 as well.
A little gentleman sweep.
Yep. Pacers Bucks.
Pacers in 6.
Oh, gosh. See, if I didn't know the score currently of this game, I would have said Bucks in 6. But Pacers are up 115-107 with 4 minutes left. And that leads me to believe Bucks in 7.
Ooh, all right. Going Bucks.
Knicks Stones.
Pistons 6.
Pistons in 6.
They close it out at home.
Be beautiful. Yeah.
Wait a second.
Yeah, they would close it out at home.
But is it 2-3-2 in the first round, or is it 2-2-1-1-1 in the first round?
I thought it's 2-2-1-1-1.
I know it is in the NBA Finals, but I don't. Okay. Pistons in 6, nonetheless.
Yeah. And then lastly, Celtics Magic.
Celtics in 4.
Magic in 7. Yeah, I love the Magic. I think that this is going to be like that series.
Oh my God!
I think it's going to be like that series that they played against the Heat 2 years ago. Remember when nobody could win on home court?
Mm-hmm.
Heat swept them at home to start, then Celtics swept the Heat at home. I think that the Magic are just going to actually blow them out a couple games, and then the Celtics obviously are going to win their games. But I think when it comes down to Game 7, I think Magic are going to pull it out. I think Celtics have a little hangover from last year.
That's a hot take. If it comes to
Also,
fruition, it's going to be a heck of a clip.
yeah, I also I don't know what it is, but I love the Michigan Magic, dude. I think that
Oh, yeah.
they are like a dominant center away from being like the best team in the NBA. Banchero is so good, and he's somebody that I would comp Cade with. I wanted him. I think we were second or we were tied for draft odds that year because we were a bottom 3 team, and
Yep.
we got. I don't even remember what pick we got, but it was devastatingly low. Was that the year we got Ivy?
We got Ivy, yeah. Same draft.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't remember that being the Ivy draft, but are you sure? I could be wrong.
I don't know. I felt really confident. Now you're making
Let me double check. I need to. This is good podcasting.
Yeah, Jaden Ivey in 2020. It was the 2022 or NBA draft.
Oh wow, yeah, you're right.
All right, and Jabari Smith, yeah.
Yeah, and Chet Holmgren.
Chet. Yeah, and then then the Kings went Keegan, and I sprinted around my house when the Kings went Keegan.
Yeah, I really badly wanted Banchero that draft. I thought if we could get the number 1 overall pick, like that would be, we'd be the best team in the NBA. But I do really like him. Franz Wagner is like the guy that has to be on your NBA championship team, just like an absolute sharpshooter. And he is an exciting player to watch. He's not a foul baiter.
He's not. Because that's a Michigan man. A Michigan man wouldn't be that way.
He's a rent-a player for Michigan. He just went there because of Mo. Another Michigan man on that team, Mo Wagner. Doesn't play as much.
Mo's on the squad. Caleb Houston.
Caleb Houston, preseason McDonald's All-American, was trash for Michigan, but he is in the NBA on the Michigan Magic. Jet Howard, also on the Michigan Magic. Do you know the other one?
Okay. So Mo and Franz, Houston, Jet, and there's one Brazdeikis.
No, that would be so funny if they had him though.
Is he Brazdeikis?
It's not a Michigan player. Trick question. Michigan State player Gary Harris.
Oh yeah, okay, I knew that. Sorry. I was thinking Wolverines.
But they are truly the Michigan Magic, which is insane.
No, I like the Magic. I really do. I like the Magic. I would be elated with the Magic beating the Celtics.
Yeah,
and
if we got to play them, it would be such a fun matchup. It would be so much fun to watch. The NBA would be so back.
It would. That would do it. That is like two young teams that just play right, and they're just like dogs, and they're about it. Like, yeah, I would love that matchup.
Jonathan Isaac, God-fearing American soldier.
Dude, I forgot about Jonathan Isaac. I thought he was going to be like the truth coming out of college. Like, I thought this guy was going to be like a difference maker. He's good. He's all right.
Yeah.
But, all right, we going to do this immaculate?
Yeah, let's rip it.
All right. So we have gotten the immaculate grid once. And when we did, it was just the two of us.
Yeah.
So
I've been practicing.
All right, let's see what we can come up with. We have got across the top. We're doing the NBA because it's the NBA playoffs. We got to lock it. Across the top, if you're listening, we've got the Houston Rockets, the Atlanta Hawks, and 5,000 assists over the course of your career. Down the left-hand side, we got Spurs, we got Sixers, we've got Bulls. Can you what?
I was going to say, let me know when you want me to start firing.
Oh, start firing. Let's go.
Chris Paul, Spurs, Rockets.
Easy.
Dwight Howard, 76ers, Rockets. Or wait. Was he 76er? Or was that, I'm thinking Hawks. Now I'm in my head.
Oh, Hawks.
Yeah, he was
definitely. I do not believe
Hawks.
He was a Sixer.
He played everywhere, and he might have been a Sixer for a little bit.
Trevor Ariza.
Yeah, Trevor Ariza for sure. God.
DeJounte Murray.
Yep, good call.
5,000 career assists. Like, I don't know. Do we want to get tricky with it, or do we just want to go Tony Parker?
Tony Parker.
We're going chalk, guys. We're just trying to get it done.
Yeah.
All right.
76ers, Hawks. I don't know why the 76ers and Hawks I tend to blend together for some reason.
I agree.
Because I keep wanting to say Kyle Korver and Dwight Howard for both these. I think I'm right on both of them, but I don't want to be incorrect.
Wait a second. Korver
was a Hawk and 76er, I swear.
He totally was. Yeah, he totally was. Yeah.
Okay.
Good poll. That was a good poll. Shout out Kyle Korver, man.
Yeah.
All right, let's get the 5,000 career assists out the way.
Yeah. Well, that's what I was actually trying to think of because I'm thinking of point guards, Allen Iverson or Kyle Lowry.
Kyle Lowry.
Kyle Lowry had a longer career than AI, which would make me think 5,000 assists. But was he a true point guard like that? I don't even know. 5,000 assists is a lot of assists.
All right, before I hit select, do we want to...
I'll let you make the call. You pick Kyle Lowry or Allen Iverson.
You ever seen that edit of Kyle Lowry and the denim, the Daisy Dukes?
Oh, no, but I need that. That might be my screensaver for next time if you can send that to me.
I'll send it to you. All right, I'm trusting you on Lowry. He's had a long career. 07 to 2025.
Yeah, send it. Send it. If he didn't have 5,000, I was going to say he get him out of the NBA.
Who had 5,000 assists on the Bulls?
Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen.
Do we think Jordan got to 5K assists? Was he dishing it like that?
Yeah, he was. I think Pippen definitely did. If Jordan didn't.
All right, we'll go Scottie. Yes, sir. All right, we're off to a hot start, Jet.
Yeah,
we're off to a hot start. All right, Bulls, Hawks, Bulls, Rockets.
Bulls, Rockets. I want to say Patrick Beverley.
Did he play for the Bulls?
Patrick Beverley?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's his Chicago's his hometown.
All right, say what? I don't remember him on the Bulls. I remember him on the Rockets, obviously.
And then 76ers Rockets. God, I actually just had it. Why am I blanking on it now?
I am 99% sure Trevor Ariza played for the Sixers and Rockets, but I don't want to go with the easy one. Dude, James Harden.
Yeah. Wow.
James Harden. That's easy. All right. Bulls and Hawks. Let's think this one through. Bulls and Hawks. We got to think back, like, who the Bulls are kind of tough because they've sucked for so long.
See, I actually don't mind that because I feel like players have kind of just ran through there.
Yeah.
But the Hawks, I feel like, have sucked, and the players have been so bad they didn't stay in the NBA.
I know. It's been like, this is okay. Anyone but from like MJ's team ever end up? Did Dennis Rodman ever play for the Hawks?
Yeah, that's a good question you're asking.
What was his name? Ben Gordon. He ever play for the Hawks? He was a dog for the Bulls.
I don't think so.
Josh Giddey. Who we got on the squad right now? Lonzo, Giddey, Kobe White, Vuvacek, however you pronounce his name. Luol Deng?
Yeah, that's a great guess. Like that would be that. Honestly, that would be my guess out of anyone. I don't know Hawks players like that.
Joakim Noah? He ever played for the Hawks?
Like Carlos Boozer?
Wait a minute.
Oh, I remember my other guy. But this isn't hit for the Bulls. Dude, for Rockets 76ers, I was going to say PJ Tucker. I don't know why that one took me
Oh,
so
that's
long.
a good, yeah. That's a good, I mean, that's a good poll. That would have been better than Harden. Um, all right, Bulls, Hawks. I like Luol Deng. Why do I feel like he played for the Hawks?
Yeah, I'm cool with Luol Deng.
All right, we send it.
Yeah, send it. Oh,
No.
let's
Yeah.
see. Show me who we
Oh.
missed.
All right. How do we get this? Wait, how do I
I think you click off or and scroll down.
show summary? Overall stats. How do we get here? Oh, here we go. All right. 51 total players.
Mm.
All right, fellas, this is what we got. Elton Brand, Kyle Korver, we used him. Kirk Heinrich. There's no way I would have pulled that.
Yeah. I can't
Elton
even.
Brand, no way. Jamal Crawford. Mike
Day
Dunleavy.
crossover.
Chris Dunn. Justin Holiday. Kevin. Oh, my Lord. Kevin
Kevin.
Herter. I knew that.
I wouldn't have
I mean,
guessed
that would have been a crazy poll, but I knew that. Yeah, not a whole lot of options there. All right, fellas. We went 8 for 9. That was pretty solid.
That was solid.
All right, well, if you guys are listening, we appreciate it. Talked a little Pistons basketball. We got the draft Thursday, Game 3 Thursday. We're going to be doing a live stream for that. Before we get off, just give me, and let's be realistic, just give me real quick, who's your dream at 28?
The best offensive lineman available.
Oh, okay. You went O-line.
I'm not even going to give I don't know a lineman like that or who will be left, but I'd just give me the best O lineman available.
There's that interior offensive lineman from North Dakota State that should be on the board at 28. My dream is Mike Green, the edge out of Marshall, a little edge rusher. I think we need some help on the edge. Can I give you a bold take? A bold prediction draft night trade.
Let's hear it.
The Lions don't select at 28 because they trade that pick to the Pittsburgh Steelers for TJ Watt.
Wow. I mean, that would be unreal. But I don't think that.
It's my bold take.
Yeah.
That's my bold take.
Well,
look.
can I come with a bold take then?
Yeah, come, please.
Okay. The Pistons don't pick at 28.
The Pistons don't?
Or, I mean, the Pistons don't because the Lions do.
Oh, my God!
The Lions don't pick at 28. Do you know why?
Why?
Because they traded that pick to the Bengals for Jamar Chase. I think we got a better chance of getting Jamar Chase than we do TJ Watt. Is there like rumors going around that TJ Watt wants out of Pittsburgh or that that they're shopping him?
There's no big rumors, but
It's a BBL first reported.
It's BBL's first to report this. And look, it's a bold take. TJ Watt, his contract is up in a couple years. The Steelers have a decision to make. I put myself in the seat of the general manager of the Pittsburgh Steelers. They've been too mediocre for too long. They haven't been able to get better in the draft because they pick towards the end of the draft. They go 9-8 every year. They lose first round of the playoffs. TJ Watt has been posting some interesting cryptic things on his Instagram, and he is looking, especially with everyone else getting paid around the league, he's looking for an extension. Do I think the Lions can afford him? I mean, they can if they make some things work out. We'll see. But bold take, if I'm Brad Holmes, I want a Super Bowl. Let me ask you something. Would you rather have a Super Bowl and then we go back to not being very good for a couple years, or would you rather be like mediocre, we make the playoffs, get bounced for 10 years and never win a Super Bowl?
I think that the Bears have a first round pick, two of them, and one of them is theirs, one of them is the Panthers. And I think that they would give both of their first round picks to get TJ Watt. I think that what you're thinking is correct. I just think the price is way too low. Like the 28th overall pick, like you're praying that you get half the player that TJ Watt is with your 28th overall pick.
Listen, I'm just saying, I'm hearing murmurs, some whispers in the BBL sphere.
There's nobody's ear who's more in tune and in touch with these rumors than you, so I trust it. If I am in the front office of the Lions, I can't accept that deal fast enough. I say no physical pending for TJ. It doesn't even matter. He could show up with a broken arm, and I'd be like, we won this deal.
Absolutely. I'm just saying, keep your eye on it. Keep your eye on breaking trade. Roger Goodell comes to the stage. There's been a trade. The Pittsburgh Steelers are now on the clock. And then they cut to Schefter at the desk, and he's like, holy shit, TJ Watt to the Lions.
Okay, so I have been bad with owning up to my debts on this podcast. But I promise this. I promise you this. Swear to God, I will poop my pants if that prediction comes true. Whether it happens live on the spot, if I cannot do it live on the spot,
my God,
then I'll do it live on the podcast. But there's no way, no chance in hell that we get it has to be exactly a 28th pick, nothing else for TJ Watt.
Oh, no. It's going to be, it's multiple picks here, but 28 is a part of the package.
Okay, that makes a little bit more sense. And you know what? I'll still honor it. I'll still own up to it as long as Jamison Williams is not in the trade.
Guys, trust me. BBL can be the first ones to report this. J-Mo is not getting traded. And we're going to end the podcast there. J-Mo is not getting traded.
Cut it out.